Hello everyone, welcome to another Dan Cross video. So this is a very fan suggested video. It's been suggested for a long time. I've had it on my tab for a long time. It is Dialga versus Palkia. And the reason why I chose now to do this video of all times is because we have gotten word that the Gen 4 remakes are on their way. Or at least supposedly. We actually don't know if they're on the way or not. But that's besides the point. Anyways, before I get into the video, I want to just quickly mention to you guys the fact that I have a second channel where I do game reviews and, tips and how-tos and things like that on another gaming channel. So I'll have a link to that in the comments section below if you guys want to check that out and subscribe to the channel, because there's some pretty cool content on there. Anyways, moving on to the video itself. Dialga versus Palkia. So to start things off, I'm just going to show you guys the scorecard. You can pause the screen if you want to read it or not. But basically, to explain things really quickly, the in-battle is things like your traditional turn-based system. So it's like your types, your type matchups, your base set totals, and so on and so forth. And then the strength and lore category basically takes into account how strong that Pokemon is outside of the game's traditional battling system. So that could be the game's lore, the manga, the anime, the movies, all that. That's where the strength and lore area comes in. It takes all that into account. The next is design, which is out of 5 points, which overall looks 3 points. Shiny, how good their shiny is basically 2 points. And then the tiebreaker, to quickly explain the fan vote. You guys decide who actually wins, but in order for the victor to be decided, there must be a 55-45 vote difference. And basically this takes into account anyone who has a second account can basically go in the video and vote twice. And then if that condition isn't met, then it's my vote, and if I can't decide, then it's a draw. Also, for the sake of this video, I am not including Primal Dialga. There are way too many question marks with Primal Dialga in terms of its stats and moves and its type. It's just, I'd rather not get into that whole area. We're keeping it specifically to the stock legendaries. So, having said that, let's dive right into the analysis. So, starting off with the in-battle category. Now, in battle, things are really interesting because of the fact that both legendaries are extremely powerful Pokemon. Dialga and Palkia are very similar in their stats. Both are Dragon-type Pokemon, and they even have the same attack and special attack stats. And for the most part, they just trade in the other statistical areas. So it's like, one has more HP, one has more defense, one has more speed, one has more special defense. That kind of stuff. And because of that, and as well as the fact that they both have a 680 base stat total, the matchup is very even, statistically speaking. Now what really swings this matchup is the signature moves of each Pokemon. Now, Palkia and Dialga do learn moves that are super effective against each other that aren't Dragon-type moves. But when you compare that to the Dragon-type moves that they do learn, the Dragon-type moves are by far and away superior, at least when it comes to battling against each other. Now, why do I say that? The reason why I say that is because of the signature moves. Now, this is what really swings things in favor of one or the other. The moves I'm talking about are Roar of Time for Dialga and Spatial Rend for Palkia. Now, Roar of Time is very similar to a glass cannon. Once you use it, you have to recharge, whereas Spatial Rend basically allows you for a higher crit chance. Both moves are really good, but in this case, Dialga will almost always win. This is because of the difference in the move's power. So, Spatial Rend has a power of 100, while Roar of Time has a power of 150. 1.5 times Spatial Rend. This means that even though Palkia has higher speed, and it does go first, it actually doesn't kill Dialga on the first turn, which is a critical error, because once Dialga goes, it will one-shot Palkia every single time using Roar of Time. The only time where this doesn't happen is where Dialga misses. And the thing is, Roar of Time has a 90% accuracy, so 9 out of 10 times, Dialga will guaranteed one-shot the Palkia. Because of this, and because of the fact that both Pokemon are incredible statistically in terms of their stats, as well as their types and the moves that they learn, I'm only going to give Palkia 3.5 points here, and Dialga 5 points, because of the difference in their signature moves. Because again, we are taking into account the moves that they learn. Next, we have Strength and Lore. So this is going to be the first of a very reoccurring pattern that you're going to see in this video. And that is that, again, both Pokemon are extremely powerful. In the movies, in the anime, in the manga, they're just really good Pokemon. And to save some time, I will say that when either Pokemon is shown, so when either Dialga or Palkia is shown, the other one is shown with it. So you almost never see them by themselves. You almost always see them together, is what I'm trying to say here. And basically, yeah, what happens is they constantly trade blows when they are being shown. Like, for example, in the Rise of Darkrai, Palkia is seen teleporting an entire city in its battle against Dialga. Whereas in Arceus and the Jewel of Life, Dialga transports Ash and friends back in time. So both actually accomplish incredible feats in the manga, in the anime, and in the movies. Like, those are just two examples of what I mean. There are so many more examples that I could go into, but to save time, I'm not going to. And to make this nice and easy for you guys as well as for myself, both Pokemon trade blows. They both are incredible Pokemon. And because the strength and lore category takes into account how strong they are outside of the game's mechanical, turn-based system, both score 2.5 points simply because, while yes, they are both incredible, they trade blows. They trade blows with one another. So there are times where one is better over the other, but that's not for me to decide which is better. It's to decide who's better overall. So 2.5 points for each Pokemon. Next is the design. Now, when it comes to design, Pokemon's Gen 4 designs are some of the best designs I've seen ever in Pokemon. Second, very, very, very much second to Gen 3, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, Dialga takes a more or less unique spin with the sail on its backside, whereas Palkia looks like a crystal that was shaped into a dragon. It looks like something that if you were to took a raw crystal and mold it, that's what Palkia would turn into. I do think that both Pokemon are deservedly awesome in their designs. Like, both Pokemon are incredibly cool. The overall shape of Dialga and Palkia very, very well represent the shapes of the diamonds and pearls that they represent within their respective games. Dialga being a very cut, rough shape, but which just basically matches that of a diamond, and Palkia has a very smooth, round shape, so to speak. Thematically speaking, both Pokemon are really well designed. Their colors are well chosen because blue more or less is associated with diamonds and purple is more or less associated with pearls. And to top it all off, it's just their theme comes together, their color comes together, just their overall designs come together. And because of that, both Pokemon get 3 points in this category. Now lastly, we have the shiny category. Now, I think that each Pokemon shiny is good, but to keep things short, neither of them really makes that much of a difference other than giving a sparkling effect when you throw the Pokemon out in battle. That's basically it. The shinies are basically just brighter colors of the original form, which for me, the brighter colors aren't bad. I actually prefer the shinies over the originals. But the only reason that I give both of them 1 point here instead of 2 is because that the shinies just aren't different enough. They look too similar. They're too lazy in the color schemes that were chosen. And because of that, I'm going to have to take off 1 point in the shiny category. This, ladies and gentlemen, leads us to our summary. Overall, this one was really, really close. As you can tell, both Pokemon were trading constantly. Well, trading constantly as in they were keeping neck and neck for the most part of the video. But when it ultimately came down to the 1v1, Dialga had that in the bag and it was able to grab the victory and hold on to it because of the difference in their moves. Now, I think that Palkia is also a great Pokemon. Like, I very clearly show that in this video by the fact that it constantly keeps up with Dialga and I constantly give them high scores. But the thing is, Dialga is also a great Pokemon. It just so happens to be stronger in battle in a 1v1 scenario specifically. Having said that, the final score is 11.5 points for Dialga and 10 points for Palkia. And I made sure I pronounced it correctly this time because in the last video, I actually had the scores swapped and I didn't catch that at all when I was making the video. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the game review channel. Again, link in the description below, or you can find it in the pinned comment in the comment section below as well. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this matchup? What do you guys think? Was the scoring accurate to what you thought or inaccurate to what you thought? Let me know. As well as, what do you guys think of the rumor floating around of Gen 4 remakes? Would you rather have Gen 4 remakes or something else? Let me know in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on this. Anyways, that's it from me. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.